Bienvenue à CANNESERIES. We just fight all the time. We can't stand each other. We can't believe that this is the awards that we're giving. That's what I expected going in. No. The last 5 days has been really sort of magical. When I did not expect to meet a fellow jury of such just rigor and intelligence and passion, like it's really been amazing.
Yeah, it's been a really incredible experience. I didn't expect to be spending as much time with people, with the jury, and that I would get to know new friends on the jury. It was a pretty great feeling. Everybody as a part of the jury, everyone who's the part of the jury are so, they deeply care about the work. They deeply care about what we've been watching, and we've had some very, very, interestingly deep conversations about the art of making these series that we've been seeing. So it's been quite an experience. I think that the first thing that we talk about is how did it make us feel? Like what were we feeling when we walked out? And it's interesting, what I noticed is as we walked out, all of us as a group had a different response every time. Not necessarily what we're saying, but in our body language as we were walking out of the little area that we were, put into view. And as we were walking to where we were going to have a conversation about it, there were a few that we were silent. Nobody said anything. A couple where we were like blah 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 blah, talking a lot, and others where we were sort of gently getting into the conversation. So it was very interesting.
Jeff, I'm curious if you feel this way. Like I always start watching like a filmmaker, right? So I'm analyzing. I wouldn't have opened with that shot, or they brought the music in this earlier. There's a title sequence. What we're really, I think, craving in a show is I want to forget that I'm the filmmaker and I want to be a fan. So how long does it take for a show or a pilot to get me into that moment of just disappearing into the story? And then it's interesting as we come out and speak about the shows. I think some of the shows that we loved really drew us in quickly.
Yeah.
Which is interesting this year.
I mean, for me, I think it's about the level of the quality of the work, right? So when the level of the work rises above a certain point, I am able to release all of that. Otherwise, I'm watching as a filmmaker, I'm watching as someone who does that, and I say things like, oh, they started the music too early, or what was he thinking, or what was she thinking when they did that? But when the level is at a certain point, that fades into the background.
I always love to give that question back, being like, when you find out, will you let me know? Because as Jeff and I were actually just speaking about this too, every showrunner does it so differently in the States. But in terms of the big umbrella, the showrunner is the writer, the creator, the producer, the person who wears all the hats from conception to writing to production to post-production, even to marketing. It's sort of like, I feel like it's, if you roll up the brains of the writer, producer, and director all into one, you have the showrunner. But like I said, everyone does it differently. So in terms of carrying different hats and weights of hats.
Making music is really all about finding the heart of a story and following the heart of the story, and how much support does the heart of the story need, or how much do you want to stay away from it and sort of push it along a little bit, or even a big part of being a composer is figuring out where music should not go. Yeah, I mean, the music can help you cry, right? But you don't want the music to make you cry. You want the story to do that, and I am never a fan of playing sad music in a sad scene. Sad music in a sad scene is like, it's just putting sugar on top of chocolate. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to gild the lily. So I'm always playing slightly opposite, maybe, or just with, as opposed to right on top of it. The trope. It's like we're in a sad scene and you hear sad piano, or sad strings, and
then you laugh at.
Yeah, that's right.
Instead.
We actually talked a lot about that, like wondering, well, can we see the episode 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and how can we really judge if we don't know the whole thing? But, you know, I think at the end of the day, what we figured was we have to just judge in this vacuum that we're in. We're in a vacuum of just having the first 2 episodes. And really the question that we asked ourselves is, do we want to see episode 3? And if we do want to see episode 3, well, that's good. That's a, you know, check mark in the right direction. And if you don't, well, then perhaps they haven't done their job in really wanting to draw in an audience.